Hello, hey, welcome back to my video again. So in earlier video, if you remember, we covered our the variables types so far. We have covered like how to define our first line code with the defined parameters like we have to just define our version of the solidity and also what is your int and what is integer, what is unsigned integer and signed integer, and what's data type it is containing by default. And if we are just putting some parameters explicitly, it will reduce our gas size, right? So in this case we used 8 bits over here, so it will reduce our get size. So if we can just remove this, so I'm sorry, so if we can just remove 8 bits over here, so it doesn't impact anything, but it is going to take the default parameters of 256 bits, which is containing more gas. So to reduce the gas size or the gas fee, we have to just use the minimal bit size in this case, because the age is not going to be above 60 or maybe 100, and the 8 bits is containing minus 127 to plus 126. All right, so this is so far we have just covered, and this is the string, this is byte. So whenever the name is defined, you can use bytes. And you're not sure what is going to be come up, so you can just use string anywhere. So in 95% people or 95% developers are using string instead of bits, but yeah, it is good practice. You know at least both thing how and when we are going to use that. And also we have covered Boolean variable, which is stand for a true and false conditions. Whenever your code is gonna be matched with the existing logic and or the logic which you are trying to put it over there, it will show you true and or it will show you false. So, and also we covered that like there is a no float value and the decimal value in our Solidity code. But yeah, instead of using the float value and the decimal value, we have the global variables present over here. And what is global variable? What is local variable? We are going to cover deep dive into it once time arrive. All right. So, so far we already covered those things in our previous video. So let me just go ahead and start our new topic, which is enum. So you might heard about the enum. What is enum basically? So before defining our enum, let me just give you some quick glance about what is enumeration. So enumeration is stand for like whenever you have present certain parameters in your drop-down list. For example, you can say if you're just filling up the form online and you have to just select your state, right? And when once you just selected your state from the drop-down list, and it will ask you to choose city. So whatever the city, once you just click on the city part, city drop down list, so it will give you all the cities name which is belonging to that particular state, right? And you have to just choose one of them, or you cannot go and modify in that data. So whatever the data is present over there, you have to choose any one of them, right? Not even two, not even more. All right. So let me just give you some examples. So first of all, I hope you remember in the earlier video we talked about whenever we are just going to write our the first line of code, we have to define our version of the Solidity. So let me define our Solidity version. So it's a pragma Solidity cap 0.6.0 terminal. And after that, you have to define your contracts, right? Contract, in this case, I'm just taking enum contract, enum demo in this case. Oh, my bad. Okay, defining our contract of enum. And we understood that what is enum. So like basically some drop down list, there is the list of the state or list of the cities present over here. We have to just choose among them only one, right? We cannot go ahead and modify that because that facility is not going to be provided by any of the organization, even though Solidity is not containing those kind of features where you can just user can go ahead and modify in the changes of the drop down list. So in and also you cannot use multiple choice in this case. So this is basically enum stands for. All right. And before going ahead and creating our enum function, let me just give you one more thing, one more detail here. So what if we are going to use a higher version over here in the Solidity? What will happen? All right. So it is still, see, you can see that it is still compiling and it will directly give us an error. What are those errors? So it is showing that SPDX license identifier not provided. What is SPDX license? So the SPDX license is basically is stand for software package license in order to compile your code, right? So it is not compulsion, right? So if you're not providing your SPDX license, it will not allow you your code to be compiled. So this is not like that. In this case, in order to avoid these warning, so we have to just declare our SPDX license in a comment line. All right. So whenever we are going to define our SPDX license, we should always use the comment line. Okay. So let me just give define the SPDX license. All right. SPDX license identifier. It's by MIT. See, the moment we defined our SPDX license, the error is gone. Okay, so let's move on to our main topic, which is enum we are talking about in this case. So let me just go ahead and define the enum, like how does it look like, and what is the way to define the enumeration in this case, in the Solidity language. All right, so let me just, I'm sorry. So let me just go ahead and define enum name. So you can just take any name, right? So there is no compulsion what name I'm using. You can just go ahead and use the same one. There is no compulsion. You can use anything you want. I'm just going to use the status, like I'm just taking the example of the e-commerce website where you are going to track your detail, and there is a drop down list where you can just pick up the one and you can just able to track or able to take the action as per your selection. So here, if you are using the e-commerce platform, then you might aware there is a order receiving, package, shipping, tracking. So these parameters are available in the drop down. So you can just take any example as your wish, but here I'm going to take an example for e-commerce platform. So let me just take order received, and the second we are going to take packaged, and third we are going to take ship, and we can just take another one as well. It says track your record, track record, right? So these parameters or get the status out of it, right? So let me just write one more thing. Let me just put the instance over here. So what is instance? So let me just put a little space so it will look nice. So what is instance? So let me just declare the instance first. So this is your what? This is your enum name, right? And instead of that, we are going to use a name which is represent to our enum. So every time whenever we are going to declare our enum, or whenever we are going to call our enum, we cannot go ahead and write these parameters, right? So instead of that, instead of writing those things, we can just use one instance which is stands for the status or for the enum, right? So in this case, I'm just going to create one instance in order to represent the status, the enum in this case. Let me just take anything. You can just take any name you wish. So let me just, it is track. So you can just do whatever you wish to do. There is a no compulsion. You can just use track, or you can just, use the status itself. In this case, we are going to use cap status. This is up to you, right? Let me just use track. All right. So after that, we are going to write our function, which is how we are going to define our the enumeration in this case. So let me function set data. You can just take any name as I'm explaining you since our first video. Like whenever you are defining any parameters like enum or function or contract, after that you are going to define their name. So in order to define your name, you can use whatever name you wish. There is a no compulsion and no restriction. You are going to stick with the particular name or particular um, order format, right? You can just take any name as per your wish, as per your convenience, as per your easiness. All right, so here I'm going to take the set data. Let me just take set status. It will more prominent in this case. So you can just take anything. So set status, let me just and make this public. All right, and we are going to call our the identifier over here. So let me just call the identifier track, and also we are going to provide our enum name, which is status dot. See, the magic is, so whenever you are defining your identifier, right? Whenever you are calling your identifier from here to here in identifier, we are going to define our enum name, and after that, you are going to get these parameters, like whatever we have defined earlier in the enum parameters. So the all parameters is going to be available here. So in this case, you are liable to choose any of those present in this drop down list. So you can just, if you wanted to see your order received or not, you can choose order received. You can or you can just check the shipment, which is shipped or not in this case. So, and if you just wanted to go ahead and see the dispatch result or the orientation or the delivery record, you cannot go ahead and define that, right? Because this is not defined over here. So you cannot track that delivery status. All right. So in this case, whichever is not present in the drop down list, you cannot go ahead and modify and use those parameters, right? So whatever the present, whatever the defined over here, you can choose among them, not beyond it, right? So let me just take the track order or a shipped. So it is shipped. You can just terminate that. So this is what it is. So the enum says, let me just repeat one more time. So enum says whatever the parameters you are going to define here. So that parameters is going to avail in the drop down list by defining your enum. And in between, we are going to put our identifier name, and we are going to call our enum name or enum, and also the moment we are putting dot after my enum name, so it will give you all the parameters which is already been defined in enum in a form of drop down list. So the user can pick any of those from the defining parameters, right? So this is what it is. This is the enum, and this is going to be used. Let me just give you one more example in this case. So if you wanted to go ahead and purchase a new car, which is you already define a color red, right? So, and you went to the Mercedes showroom and chosen that I would like to purchase a red color Mercedes over here S class. And the moment you enter in the showroom, and you got surprised, like there is a no red color Mercedes S class car available, right? Representative over there says like this sort of car or this color's car Mercedes not even manufacturing this moment, right? They stopped manufacture those kind of cars. So you can just choose either black, blue, or gray. So you don't have to just, go ahead in the system and change the entire thing like blue to red or black to red or whatever. So you have to just choose whatever they have present in their catalogs, right? Or in their software or in their showroom. So you have to just choose either black, either blue, or the gray color, right? So these sort of parameters is considered under enum. So hope this point is clear to you. So if you have any confusion, you can just comment me. So I'll try to explain you more, or you can just drop me your email with the question. I'll definitely have a look out and reply you on particular email to you. All right, so let me just give you one more sort of a round to in order to explain the when while you are using the higher version of the Solidity. So if you're just going to put 6 over here, so it will never ask you for the SPDX license. The moment you use the higher version 7 or maybe 8, in this case, so it will ask you to just declare your SPDX license identifier. So you don't need to worry about that. You can just put the 2 forward slash and you can just simply write SPDX slash license slash identifier colon MIT, and make sure the same syntax is going to be present in your machine as well, because if you wanted to use a small I, so it will give you an error because this is case sensitive, right? All right. So this is how you are going to define your first line, and this is, stand for whenever you are creating any new page. So these two parameters is going to be used by default. Trust me. So let me just copy it and let me just create a new topic for today, which is array. We are going to define array, and here we are going to paste it. Whenever I'm just choosing my new file, I always copy and pasting, but this is not a good habit. So whenever you got used to, you can do it, but if you are in a learning stage, then I would say you have to just avoid this thing, because you must to be used to whatever the parameters is present over there, and also put your hand dirty on it. So multiple time, if you just going to write this thing, so you gonna be remember anyhow. So once you just having a good command over your certain parameters, then you can just leave it. It's up to you. You can just use the shortcuts and everything. All right, so here we are going to learn about array in Solidity. What is array? Hope you, if you are just coming from the another language background, you might aware about what is array. If you're not having any kind of coding experience earlier, right? So no problem here. Let me just give you a quick example for the array. So array is basically containing the same data type. So for example, in particular class, 45 students are studying, right? So there is a same types of student are studying. So 8th class, they are studying English, Hindi, math, science, whatever the subject, it is common, right? So these parameters which is defined for a same kind of data set. So you can use array. Hope my point is clear. And let me just give you what sort of types of array present in the Solidity. So in the Solidity, there are two types of array. So one is fixed array and one is dynamic array. So let me just give you a quick overlook about the fixed array. So what is fixed array? So as I earlier given you an example, in this class there is a 35 students, so that is defining the fixed length of the students. So not even extra students is going to be enter over there, because the class or the system or the college system or the school system is not letting extra student be in, right? If they wanted to in, they have to just go with defined certain criterias, right? So in this case, we are having the 35 student in the class, 35 student in the class, and this is compulsion, like after 35 students, if any other or any new students want to join that, they cannot. They have to just come up with the certain parameters which is defined by the organization or the institution, right? So later on, if they successfully enroll the 36%, you can just put the 36. This is up to you, right? So after 36, they are not going to allow anybody because the seat got full, right? And there is a no admission is going on because whenever anybody want to take that admission, the the software or the system will not allow to enter anybody in this class except 36 persons, right? So hope my point is clear and hope I explained about the fixed length array, what it is and how we are going to use that. So let me just go ahead and give you some hands-on part or some quick example related to fixed array part, right? So fixed length array, I already explained it. Let me just go ahead and create the contract for the fixed length array in this case. So we have to just define our contract as we earlier talked about. So contract um, fixed array. Let me just write our function over here. So the moment your class is decided, like there is only 30 students which is going to take or attend the class, so here how you're going to define that. First of all, if you wanted to contain their age, not the all details, so here I'm just for the teaching purpose, I'm going to define only one parameters over here, so you can just define as many as you can. Here I'm going to define for all the 36 students to store their age. Not you can just take their name, their age, their address, their phone number, their enrollment ID, their student ID, their phone numbers, or whatever. So in this case, by defining the fixed length array, I'm going to take only one parameters because it will reduce my time in order to explain you, so I can just cover the other topics as well. So you can just take as many parameters as you wish during your practice session, right? So let me just take their age in this case, all the 36 students age in this type. So hope you remember what parameters or what sort of data type we are going to use as a variable over here. So what sort of variable we are going to use that? So in this case, we are going to use uint, right? And you can use the 8-bit, 20-bit, it's up to you. The lowest bits you are going to define the lowest gas fee you are going to pay. This is correlevant to each other, right? So if you are going to take 256 bits, it will charge you higher fee. Earlier example, we have seen that the 256 containing the large number of the data in bits, right? And 8 is containing only minus 127 to plus 126. So in this case, let me just go ahead and use 8. So it is a good practice whenever you are defining your variable in terms of integer or unassigned integer. All right, so here I'm going to take this one, and also we are going to define that age is only available for 36 students, right? So in this case, only 36 students can participate and put their age inside the form, right? So let me just go ahead and write, oh, my bad, I think I put it a colon over here, so it should be semicolon, my bad. Can just avoid in between something a typing mistake. So this is not my intent to put any wrong structure over here, but it's typing mistake, so you can just avoid that part. And also we are going to, after that we are going to define our function, and we can just, whenever we are just typing the function, this is the for sure we have to just define the function name, right? So what function name we are going to set over here? Let me just set the data. So set data is my function name. You can just take as you wish. And after that, what we are going to define? First of all, in which order we are going to contain our records. Let me just give you an example over here. So we are going to store age index 0 is equal to 23. So this is our, oh, I'm sorry. So this is our syntax, right? And also age index 1 and it is going on. It's age 35 is equal to, let's see, any number. So this is what it is. This is how we are going to structurize our function. So this is the glance I have given you, like this is how we are going to contain or store our data. All right, so let's get started and put the function with the same index. So what is index? The index always starts from 0 and it goes up to n minus 1. What is n minus 1? So the basically here you can see that you are just defining the 36 students, but here at last you are going to define only 35 peoples because the 0 is already came into the picture and taken one place. So 0 to n minus 1, right? So this from the 0, and you can just go ahead with n number of students, which has already been defined. So in this case, there is 36 students is already been defined. So we are going to start from the 0 index to 35 because in 35 index, we are going to cover the 36 students detail inside. And if in case, if we are using the 38 students into the consideration, then we are going to define how many? 37. That's correct. All right. So this is the structure of the index, which is predefined. So let me just go ahead and set the data, and we are going to put the ID. So the ID or index or whatever you gonna call, because it's up to you. So this part you can just choose whatever. So in this case, I can just choose key, or I can just use index. So it's up to you. Whatever name you wish to choose, you can choose it, right? And after that, what else we are going to capture? We are going to capture the age after that, right? So the index age. So index, and after that, we are going to define our age. So age is also going to take u int and underscore. And what is that? Add age, right? And why I'm putting the underscore over here? So explicitly I'm defining the underscore over here, but in the further video I'll definitely let you know that what is underscore meaning. All right, so what is this? What is index and what is age? So this, if you can just see carefully these parameters, so this is the same parameters which I followed over here, right? The same parameters. So the index number, index you have to just put, and the age, you can just put the age. Okay, so after that, we just wanted to make our function public, and after that, we are going to call age and the specific index, and after that, we are going to set our age. So in order to set our age, we have to just define age, and that's it. All right, so this is for a write function. So we are going to put the, what is this error says? Is not implicitly convertible to the accepted type uint8. Oh, okay, my bad. So you can just put uint8 over here, uint8 over here, and it will gone. So whenever you're facing such problems, whenever you're declaring your the data type with certain bit size, then you have to just explicitly also be defined over here too. All right. So the moment you define the bits type, because you already declare over here, but you forgot to declare over here, so it will lead you an error, right? So you have to just also explicitly define your bit size or the data size or the memory allocation here as well. All right, so this is what this function is called, a write function. This function is called write function because we are going to define or putting the entry of our age, or of our detail over here. So what is the read function then? So if you write the write function, then you have to also define the read function. So in order to define the read function, let me just give you a quick detail about the read function too. As I said, you can just use any name. I'm just using random name. So read data, and we have to just put our wanted to read that. Then how you are going to read that? So I would say if you can just put your index number over here, then you are going to get that, because if you're just putting the index number, so it will give you your age. So we are putting the index number here, and what we are going to say, receive in this case, so the that is public because anybody can use that. And the explicitly, if we are just reading the data, not putting the data or not writing the data, those explicitly we are going to put the view keywords over here. So view means read function, and if it is not view, then it is write function or some other function. So this is the difference between read function and write function. It will structure the same almost, but the view keywords making the differentiate from write to read. Right, so whenever you find the keywords view, it means it's a read function and it is not going to charge any kind of gas fee further by retrieving the data from the database or from the blockchain, right? And we are going to return, and what we are going to returns, we are going to returns the data type uint in this case, and also we are going to return what? We are going to return age, and age in terms of what? Age, the parameters we are going to pass, which is index. I'm sorry, my bad. Index. That's it. This is our read function. So let me just give you a quick recap about it. So it will give you one more chance to, in order to understand the logic behind array. So first of all, as this is the default parameters, we have to just define our the Solidity version and SPDX license over here. And if you wanted to use the lowest version, you don't need to define SPDX license. But if you wanted to use higher version, then you must have to define your SPDX license in the / command, right? And after that, two types of array. I explained you only one type of, but we are going to take a recap on it. So after that, we will just go ahead and jump into the dynamic part as well. So what is fixed length array? So fixed length array is basically, I told you, if there is a certain limited numbers or limited parameters which we have to just define, and not any other person letting you inside your code or inside your contract, then we are going to use fixed length array. So in this case, I have taken the classroom example where 36 students are present. They are going to define their own details, right? And the 37th person is not allowed to do that because we already defined the 36 limitation over here. So they are going to store their age in this format. So age index 0 and their age index 1, their age index, and their age. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, that is something I forgot. Okay, so this is the structure where you are going to define your age. So after the defining our version, we are going directly jump into the contract. So contract name, anything you can just choose. You can just choose the student's detail or the storing the detail of the students or whatever. You can just use, it's up to you. And after that, we are going to define our age. You can just define age, name, phone number, what else you can just define, you can do it. So in this case, because of CG purpose, I'm going to define their age only. So age, and what type of what variables we are going to use, that we are going to use the integer, and in this case we are going to use unsigned integer because the age is always been positive, and we have to limit our entry or limit our criteria, right? In order to here 36 students only. Function name and the what sort of the data type we are going to put it over here. So in this form we define like index in age. So we have to just define the index and the age and make it public so anybody can enter. We are going to store age in the form of index. So the same structure you can see, we are following the same structure over here. So you don't need to overthink about like how we are going to define our age in the right function. So age, index number, and your age. That's it. You can just what is index basically? So the moment you put your index over here, so it will give you all the details which is associated with the index number. In this case, what is associated with the index number? Your age, right? So for example, your Aadhaar card number contains your all details. So this is the similar, like your index is containing your all the details, right? And everybody having their different index present over here. All right. This is the index which you're going to present over here, putting your index and make it public, make it view. So view is special keywords where you are going to um, make your function read only and returning with what sort of data type you wanted to return in order to integer data type we wanted to return. So if you have any name, so you can just use string over here, right? And after that you're returning your age, so return age and you by passing your index, right? And let me let me just give you the deployment flavor in this case. So yeah, let's go ahead and deploy our first code in this case, right? So our code is already been compiled, so pat your back if you've done this till now. And let me just give you the how to deploy our functions, how to deploy our contract. So this is very easy using Solidity or Remix IDE. It is very easy to deploy our smart contract. So yeah, so here is what? Here is your contract. So what contract you are going to deploy? So we are going to deploy our fixed length, I mean fixed array. So you can see the name is already been present here. So you can just see the drop down. There is only one contract we have written so far. So it is showing only one. So in this page, if you're just writing multiple contract, it will give you as per your contract. So whatever the contract is present over here in this particular page, it will give you all the drop down list and you can just choose either one and deploy it. So let me go ahead and deploy that. Or the moment you deploy your smart contract, so the terminal panel, you will see the output, which is it's already been successfully deployed, right? So you will see the green mark. So it is already been deployed, and where it is deployed, and I mean how to find that. So here you can see that there is an arrow symbol. So you have to just click on the arrow symbol. So you will see your all the function like a read function and write function over here. So this is your write function name. So see your function and your function name set data and set data. So these parameter is present over here. So the moment you click the down below arrow over here, so it will give you the same format which we define in writing function, right? So you can see the index, index, and age, right? So the moment you are going to define your index, index meaning you can just define anything, like in this case, let me just define the one and I'll put the age 34 and transact. So the moment you transact, so the terminal will give you a pop-up like it is transact or it transaction is got successful. So the what transaction? Because we forced our data to put into the Ethereum blockchain network. So this data is already been stored in Ethereum blockchain network, right? And how do we define that it is done? Like here you can see that the gas fee got deducted. The moment you deploy and the moment you transact, you can see the clearly the picture got changed, right? Let me just choose the another account for, in this case and try to transact over here. See, the payment got deducted. In order to defining or writing your smart contract function or deploying your smart contract, it will charge you a gas fee. But this is only for write and deploy function, not read function. So the read function remains same and you're not going to pay any such fee related to it. All right. So it is already been done, and let me just read the data because we have defined only one parameters over here. So it is showing only one index. So what index we used? We used one, and let me just call it. See, the moment you see, I mean, the moment you call, you will get your desired output. And it is also showing it is done. Like from this account, you got deducted. And how much you deducted, you can just see the detail over here by clicking this drop down array from this account to this account and something like that. And you can copy it, but this is the later on part. You don't need to go deep dive into it because we have another session to have a greater detail of what it is and what the details contains, mean, and everything. So until here, we are clear with our fixed length array. In further video, we are going to have a look in a greater detail about the dynamic array. So what is dynamic array? We are going to have a greater look after this video. So let me just give you a quick glance about the dynamic array. As the name suggests, for the fixed, it is fixed length, and is dynamic, it's just opposite. It is having no limitation. So for example, let me tell you, if you are storing a phone number for any particular friends or the family member or whoever, so there is a no limitation, right? So you can just add as many numbers as you can in your phone book. But in this case, there is a no such restriction allowed to stop you or bind you for some limitation. So if you have a limit, you can go ahead and use the fixed length array. And if you not have any sort of limit, then you can just go ahead and use dynamic array in this case. All right, so hope this video helps you to understand about the fixed array, and so far we have covered the enum as well. So go ahead and have a look on it and do some practice. Come you with another concept of the dynamic array, as well as we will go ahead and define some structure as well. So what is structure and what is struct? We will go ahead and deep dive along with the dynamic array in our further video. So until now, hope you're enjoying the video, and please take care and bye bye.